All right, let's go ahead and get going. It's about 6:01. This is the City of Granbury City Council regular meeting. It is 6:01. It is Tuesday, January 20, 2026. We're at Granbury City Hall, 116 West Bridge Street in Granbury, Texas. The meeting has now been called to order, and I would like, if I could, have Reverend Jacob Stump, Senior Pastor at Calvary Church of Granbury, step forward and give us an invocation, then we'll continue standing for the pledge. Thank you, sir.
Please join me in prayer. Heavenly Father, as we gather here tonight to discuss the affairs of this city, we pause to recognize not only your goodness, but your governance. We recognize that you are the God who can tell all the stars and calls them by their name, and yet you see when a single sparrow falls from the sky. This reminds us that you are the God of all things, both great and small, and that you care about what happens in this room tonight. For this reason, we humbly invite your presence into the City Council meeting. We ask that you would grace these men and women who serve our city, and every person in attendance tonight with your wisdom and your guidance. Lord, we pray that you would guide the discussions and the decisions, giving us discernment to know between what is right and what is true. And just as you reign with mercy and grace, I ask that you would grace and crown this meeting tonight with your mercy, and that you would let every word spoken tonight be seasoned with your grace. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. We ask all of this in the precious name of our Lord, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor Stump. Now, if you'll join me, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible. Thank you. What a great way to start the evening. Thank you, Pastor Stump. Appreciate it. Thanks to all of you for Pledge of Allegiance to our beautiful country and our great state of Texas. Let's move right to number 4, proclamation and presentation, where the City Council and City Manager issue encouraging statements to recognize city staff. We've been doing this for every council meeting for about 5 years now, and we're not going to stop tonight. Mr. Kaufman.
I want to shout out to our Visit Granbury tourism team. They have brought home 8 awards in the recent celebration of all the cities across Texas. Over 400 people applied. I would like for Tammy Dooley, our director of Visit Granbury, to share with us some details about each one of these awards and just express to her my gratitude for a job well done. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kaufman. This is a big day for us, and we get a lot of attention in tourism, and we appreciate it. And, you know, there's so many other city departments that are working behind the scenes that do not get all that attention. So it's really our job to kind of go out there and represent Granbury and bring back these awards when we can, and that is exactly what happened here. So the Texas Association of Fairs and Events has an annual conference, and one of the big components of the conference is the marketing awards. It's very competitive. This year, they had over 400, maybe 450 entries. So the competition is really tough. We were able to win 8 awards, 5 first place and 3 second place. They have moved us up into a category of cities 75,000 or less. We used to be in the 50,000 or less, so the categories just keep getting bigger and bigger, so we're competing with the best in the state. So one of the ones we're most proud of is our best promotional advertising outdoor. We have a new event here called the Lake Granbury Intertribal Powwow. And so we promoted that event in Arlington and in Granbury, and the billboard was stunning. And it won first place out of so many billboards in the state of Texas. And during that event, I can tell you that we had representatives from Arlington that saw the billboard in Arlington. So that is doing exactly what it's supposed to do. We also won for Best Live News Coverage, which was pretty obvious. We did the Fox and Friends episode that we coordinated here in Granbury, and that was the largest television we've ever done, and we've done many. So we took the win for that. Also things that you might not think of, like swag. We spend a lot of money on advertising merchandise for things such as the Goosebump Jump this weekend, and we have a lot of promotional material like the scarf that is given and then worn like a billboard forever. So we're very proud of that. And then also the best news coverage recorded or studio when we revealed Best Historic Small Town in America. That was on NBC5. And we want to also give a shout out to our communications department for working with us to make sure that that happened. And Jeff sent that video in, and it was picked up on NBC5. So thank you to Jeff and Chuck for that. Also, this one I'm very proud of is Best Community Program. Something like a charitable organization event doesn't always fit in our wheelhouse with tourism because we're driven for economic impact. But in this particular case, we do the Goosebump Jump as a philanthropic event and relate it to tourism, and it's won best in the state numerous times to be able to bring those two factions together. And then best social media campaign, when we revealed the naming of the trolleys, was huge, and everybody loved that. And then we won for best television commercial for our West Texas summer getaway promotion, which was in Midland and Odessa. So that's just a quick rundown for what we do. Our 5 of our teammates were there to accept the awards, including our conference center team, and they also all participated in the TIMI educational program, which is a certification through the state where they can earn their certified festival and event associate recognition through the organization. So they were all there, many of them on the first year. So, but it really takes the whole team to get this done, and we just thank you for giving us the chance to show them off because they're quite lovely. So thank you, and we're happy to bring them home for Granbury.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'd just like to add that it seems like we get overloaded with awards after awards annually from this team, and I just want everybody to know it's this team that makes that happen. And there's lots of other folks out there doing the same thing, and they're not getting the same results. So we've got a great opportunity here. We've got a great staff, great communication team as well that works together with Visit Granbury, and we're just really pleased with all that's going on, and so excited about these new awards, and look forward to seeing them decorate your building, our building, wherever it needs to be. So thank you.
Council, other comments? Recognition? Well, you mentioned, Tammy, that behind the scenes, I just want the community to know that there is some adverse weather forecast this weekend, we've had nothing to do with that behind the scenes. But behind the scenes, there is a recognition that could tax our electrical output. So Mr. Kaufman has spent the entire day, and I would say behind the scenes, working on making sure that we can get into the lottery or whatever it is that you have to do to go in and talk about how are we going to make sure that we have some. Oh, you got to buy a little extra. What's a little extra going to cost? How much did it cost?
$194,000.
Yeah, he walks into my office, first thing, said, I just spent $194,000. Went and got some water, poured it on my face, slapped me, and I walked. It's good. Thank you. But those are the kinds of things that I am continually amazed about that just literally happen behind the scenes. It's how you keep things going, and nobody stands up and said, we need credit for that. It's not about that. It's about making sure that the city is taken care of day in, day out, 24/7. And thank you for all the service, and thank everybody in their staff for delivering on that. So, now anything else? I gave you guys a chance to think? No. Okay. We're going to go to public comments, and I have 3 here. Ms. Cindy Peters. These are the 3 minutes allotted time for comments regarding agenda items that are not listed as a public hearing. Public hearing comments will be recognized when the public hearing is opened, and there is no public hearing opening tonight. So, Ms. Peters?
Thank you. I'm here on behalf of the Historic Preservation Commission. I'm chairperson. And we have 2 spaces that we have returning members. They reapplied and they'll come back on. Claudia Southern and Carol Walton. They're both excellent members. And we have an empty seat that we would very much like to see Mary Haddix come back on. She was on the commission. They moved to Toller for a few years, so she had to resign, and they're back in the city of Granbury now, so she would very much like to come back on, and we would very much like to have her. So if I could ask for those appointments, I would appreciate it.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Peters. And Mr. Dave Eagle. Mr. Eagle still here? Oh, there he is.
This is on item 7.4. Y'all miss me? Straw man. Anyone heard that term? The term is used in several ways, but in the interest of, or in relationship to a real estate deal, I'm going to define straw man from Cornell law. A straw man is a third party that holds property in intermission for the sole purpose of transferring it to another. In property law, straw man would be the person whom the grantor transfers the land to for some reason, sometimes known as a front, for the sole purpose of concealing the true owner. Another definition of straw man or straw buyer. A straw buyer is a person who makes a purchase on behalf of another person. The act is illegal if the intent, getting into intent, is fraud, criminal activity, or if the item purchased is for someone who is legally banned from making the purchase. So the following I submit quickly with the disclaimer that this is not aimed at any way at our current chief appraiser or our current HCAD board. And this is all tied into the forensic audit that's on item 7.4 and the write-off that talks about whatever the amount is related to a former board's quest for a $6.5 million new facility. On May 19th, 2021, HCAD Home Office Corporation was set up by the Hood County Appraisal District Board of Directors at that time. I urge you to take a look at who was on the board that set this corporation up. And I do corporations in air quotes because it never got down to the Secretary of State. That's another story. But the whole deal, certificate of formation, bylaws, the whole deal was set up. And you can find this on HCAD agenda for 5/13/2021. The Strawman Corporation was set up by the Board of Directors, at least it appears this way, to circumvent having to go to the taxing entities to get approval to move forward with a $6 million+ new office space. After that date, money was spent on architects, surveyors, and other professionals to move forward with the project. Money that was spent without express approval of the taxing entities and in contravention of the tax code. So here's a question among many that this presents. Why did the board decide to do this in this manner? What was their intent? Did they want to move forward with a new complex so bad that they just thought they could do this without any repercussion? So what do I want out of this audit? What do I want out of y'all? I want closure. I'm asking for closure. And I call out the Hood County District Attorney to do something about this and not leave it sitting on his desk for the next umpteen who knows what, how long. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Eagle. That's all we had on this, Ms. Walker? That's all? Okay. We're going to move to the consent agenda. All items on the consent agenda are routine. Previously discussed items will be approved with one motion. However, should a member of the City Council wish to discuss any item, said item may be removed from the consent agenda and considered under the deliberation agenda. We have the minutes. We have the purchase of some Axon Taser equipment, and we have a contract to renew with Canon Solutions, our copier. Council, anything that you want to come forward? May I hear a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Mr. Overdeer makes a motion.
Second.
Mr. Wadley seconds. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say nay. I hear no nays. We will pass the consent agenda 6-0. We'll move to the deliberation agenda. We'll consider authorizing the purchase of a pumper fire apparatus from Siddons Martin Emergency Group for an amount not to exceed $880,000 and authorize the city manager to execute the purchase by the most advantageous method to the city. Additionally, consider adopting ordinance number 26-07, amending the operating budget for the General Capital Fund for fiscal year 2025-2026 to fund the purchase of the pumper fire apparatus. Mr. Kaufman.
Thank you, Mayor. We're going to kind of break this up into two people. I've got Deputy City Manager Michael Ross to walk you through the administrative side of it, and we have the Fire Chief Mohan here with us tonight that can answer any questions, technical details about the piece of equipment itself, and about the grant. If you still have questions about that, we did talk about that at a previous meeting, but I'll turn it over to you, Deputy City Manager.
Thank you, Chris. City Council, as Chris mentioned, on December 2nd, City Council did authorize the acceptance of the $300,000 grant received from the Texas Forestry Service for the purchase of a new pumper fire apparatus to serve our volunteer fire department. The purchase, as Council directed, the purchasing department has competitively shopped multiple cooperative purchasing programs in accordance with the local government code, and staff has received and reviewed various competitive quotes for the requested equipment and determined that the Siddons Martin Emergency Group, utilizing buy board contract, offers the best overall proposal meeting the city's specifications. Total purchase amount will not exceed $880,000 total, with the city's portion not to exceed $580,000 total. And with that, as Chris said, Fire Chief Matt's here as well to answer any questions, but we are recommending that Council authorize this purchase and approve the budget amendment attached. Thanks, Matt.
Mr. Manager, Mayor, and Council, do you have any questions that I can answer for you?
Council, Mr. Overdeer.
So, Chief, this one truck will replace two current trucks that we have?
Correct. So what we have is we have a truck that's currently sitting in reserve. It's a 1996 quality, and that is one of the trucks we'd like to retire. There's also a tender that has a ton of miles on it, just under 500,000. We'd like to retire that truck also. If you approve the purchase of a new truck, we have a truck in mind that will slip into reserve. So the truck that's leaving reserve, it'll have a replacement. We need that for ISO. That's an important factor for ISO. And then the new truck will come into its place. It doesn't have to necessarily slide into that one spot. It can go to Station 1, Station 2, or Station 3. It sounds like that there's a ton of moving parts to it, but you have one truck that's being retired, that's reserved. You have another truck that's just old and does need to be retired. When the new truck delivers, it'll take the spot of another apparatus that's going to go into reserve for ISO. And it's still meets the ISO requirements for the city's needs, and then the new apparatus still meets the requirements for the grant. So two stars are kind of crossing there for one truck.
Thank you. Other? Go ahead.
Not so much, well, some questions. Just to kind of refresh everyone, this purchase came out of somewhat, correct me if I'm wrong, somewhat of a necessity, but also more specifically because of the grant.
Correct.
For anyone that's dealt with any kind of purchase of emergency apparatus, whether it be fire trucks or police vehicles or ambulances, there is no such thing as getting an inexpensive unit anymore, regardless of what it looks like. For this specific grant, it has to be a new truck, is that correct?
For the most part, yes. When you get into other apparatus, because there's other tiers for this grant, yes, you can get used apparatus.
Okay. And then this isn't going to be necessarily like a one-off custom. Is this going to be something that is already in production?
Correct. That is one part that's significantly helping with the delivery of the apparatus. Going back to COVID, delays, all the manufacturers had challenges trying to meet production. Specifically the fire truck manufacturers have always had a handful of trucks in production. They were demo trucks. Fast forward through COVID, it turned out that they've always had these demo trucks in production, and slowly but surely all the manufacturers have started to create more demo trucks coming down the line. And in this particular example, an organization like Granbury and the city of Granbury has the opportunity to buy a truck in production. And it just significantly enhances cuts down the lead times on the apparatus. Because if you're ordering a custom apparatus, currently, depending on the truck, it's as far out as 52 months now. So it's
There's also some cost savings by doing it that way.
correct. So the apparatus that we're buying has got a lead time typically of anywhere between 24 and 36 months. Since we're buying a truck in production, and where you get flexibility on determining when the truck physically arrives, but it's anywhere between 6 and 10 months. The caveat to it, you don't get to customize the truck at all. If you have a very specific need, you can't do that to these trucks. They have to be immediately kicked out of the production line, and they go to the custom line. And now you're back in the 24, 36, 52 months.
Other questions?
Does the one that has 500,000 miles we're going to retire, did we buy that new?
No, that was a used truck that we bought.
How many miles did it have when we bought it?
I honestly don't know that off the top of my head. I would have to get back to you on that.
That's okay, but y'all put a lot of miles on them.
We can.
Okay. Other questions?
Y'all go ahead if y'all have questions.
Yes, Mr. Oliver.
Is there any significant resale value to the two trucks that are being retired?
The one with the large amount of mileage, no. Our plans is when we retire that truck, there's some equipment on there. There's a pump on there that we definitely want to take off. The pump on there in itself is about $20,000, so we're going to pull that, and it will sit as just a backup and as a reserve. And eventually we will use that. There's some other extraneous equipment on there, hand tools, hose, that we'll also pull off, and it'll just go on to our storage and reserve racks. The other apparatus, the engine that's currently our reserve engine, there is a value to it. And there is a value in putting it on however the city sells their equipment. The kicker with it is it's always kind of determined by what is the need of the market. So if there's someone that desperately needs a truck right now, they're going to pay whatever it takes to get that truck. The flip side of that, if it's slow, the market's slow, then no, it won't drive as high of a price. But no, there's an intrinsic value to the engine that's currently reserved and it being sold. There's plenty of departments, not only in Texas, but nationwide, that would buy that truck.
Other?
I'd just like to say thank you, Matt, for your hard work and not only getting the grant, but working on the truck, the specs, working with your team at the fire department. And most of all, we want to thank you and all the volunteers for the millions of dollars that you save us by providing your service.
Thank you very much, and in return, thank you for your support. This project, like a lot of other projects, there's a lot of people that help us through this. And there's just a thank you is really all we can say. But there's a lot of people that help bring this to the city and to the city council.
Great. Okay. Do I hear a motion to authorize the purchase of a pumper fire apparatus from Siddons Martin Emergency Group for an amount not to exceed $880,000 and to authorize the city manager to execute the purchase by the most advantageous method to the city? Mr. Corrigan makes a motion.
Second.
Mr. Oberdehr seconds. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say nay. I hear no opposition, so that will pass 6-0. Now, do I hear a motion to adopt ordinance number 2607, amending the operating budget for the General Capital Fund for fiscal year 25-26 to fund the purchase of the pumper fire apparatus?
So moved.
Mr. Wadley makes a motion.
Second.
Mr. Overdehr seconds. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say nay. I hear no nays, so that too will pass 6-0. Thank you, Mr. Hohan. Appreciate it. 7.2. Okay. We're going to consider appointments to the following city boards, commissions, and committees: Building Standards, Plumbing Adjustments, Appeals Board, Capital Improvements Advisory Committee, Charter Review Commission, Ethics Commission, Granbury Cultural Arts Commission, Granbury Parks Board, Granbury Regional Airport Board, Historic Preservation Commission, Planning and Zoning Commission, and Zoning Board of Adjustment Board. And we have a board appointments information sheet here. Now, I have already turned to my counsel on the left, said I'm incompetent and can't do this. So would you please help?
Sure, Mayor. The first board here is Building Standards, Plumbing Adjustment, and Appeals Board. Our ordinance is very specific that there needs to be one general contractor, one insurance agent, one at-large member from the building industry, and a plumber. We have 4 vacancies, but we do not have anyone who has applied in the insurance industry or as a plumber. We have one general contractor, and that is Philip Benson. So I would suggest that you appoint Philip Benson to replace Mr. Kurtner as a general contractor. The remaining 2, Tony Calloway and Herschel Lance Jr., are both within the building industry. And so we only have one opening for that specific industry. So you will need to take a vote, 1 vote each. Whoever gets the most votes will fill that spot, either Tony Calloway or Herschel Lance Jr.
Okay. So do I hear a motion to nominate Mr. Philip Benson for the Building Standards, Plumbing Adjustments, and Appeals Board? Yes.
We're going to appoint him.
Okay, do I hear a motion to appoint Mr. Benson? Second, or who's second?
Second.
Mr. Alamo, second. All in favor, aye. Aye. All opposed, nay. Mr. Benson, thank you for joining our Building Standards, Plumbing Adjustments, and Appeals Board. Now, on Mr. Calloway and Mr. Lance, do I hear a nomination for either?
I'd like to nominate Mr. Calloway.
Mr. Calloway is nominated.
Second.
I'll second.
Second. Okay. Is this all in favor then? Or go to?
This is just nomination.
Do I hear other nominations? Here are no other nominations. All in favor of Mr. Callaway? Say aye. Aye. All opposed? Welcome, Mr. Callaway. Now, what do we need? We need a plumber, correct?
A plumber and an insurance agent.
Plumber and an, you know you cannot. Okay, so those watching online and those of you here, we do need these skill sets in our building standards group. So if you know of someone who has the plumbing background, someone who's the insurance agency or the insurance background, let us know. We can fill these at any time, correct?
We can.
We can. Good. All right. Thank you, Mr. Benson. Mr. Callaway. Okay. Capital improvements?
Yes, moving on, capital improvements, there are 3 terms expiring. There are 5 applicants. We're filling 3 spots, so we can take nominations, and the top 3 vote getters will be appointed.
Okay. Do I hear nominations?
I'll nominate Mickey Parson.
Mr. Ullum nominates Mickey Parsons.
I'll second that.
We don't need a second. Just
We don't
just
need it. We
any
don't
other
need a second.
nominations.
Yeah. But thank you. Mr. Wadley?
I nominate Paul Cornell and Richard Heffs.
Okay. Do I hear other nominations? No? We need 3?
We need 3, so if there are no other nominations, then those
No
are your
other-
3.
No other nominations? Then I would declare that Mr. Mickey Parsons, Mr. Richard Hayes, and Mr. Paul Cornell have now joined our Capital Improvements Advisory Committee. Thank you. Charter Review Commission.
Yeah, this one's pretty big. The Charter Review Commission is required to meet every 4 years, and this is that year. We have to have 7 members. We only have 3 applicants. And these terms are for 6 months, so we need to find 4 more people pretty quick to get on the Charter Review Commission because we need to get that underway. For people that don't know, the Charter Review Commission is a commission that gets together, looks at try to put this in simple terms, the bylaws or the governing documents that the city is operated under, and they make suggestions to the voting public on things that they may want to change within how the city is operated. So if there's anybody out there watching, I would say, definitely appoint these 3, and let's try to find 4 more so that we have the required 7 members. And, if need be, we need to do anything to update our charter this year. We need to get it on the ballot and get it out and let the public have a say on the operations of the city.
Do we have any restrictions? I mean, can
Residents of Granbury.
Residents of Granbury, could they be on the building and standards as well?
They can be on any other board within the city. This is a short 6-month commission.
No. Not ethics. No.
Yeah, well, we don't have anybody for ethics.
Right. We have nobody. Okay, so we need 4 more. Any newspaper coverage that might help there would be appreciated. And any other, Tammy, we should put Tammy on this.
She didn't have enough to do.
Paul back there.
All right, that too. All right. Okay, so Mr. John Grace, Mr. Terry Johnson, and
Yes.
Mr. Tony Mobley.
That's
Miss Terry Johnson.
Oh, Miss Terry Johnson. Excuse me. Will be joining the Charter Review Commission. And if each one of you can bring 1 more, we'll be close.
Buddy system.
The Ethics Commission. We have no one who signed up for this.
Well, all the seats are vacant and we have no applicants, so nobody wants to be on the Ethics Commission, I guess.
Well, hopefully we don't have a need.
Do what?
What about it?
They're appointed.
They're
Yep.
appointed.
Yep.
Yes. These 3, John Grace, Ms. Terry Johnson, Mr. Tony Mobley.
So
appointed?
we have no applicants, so, hopefully we don't need it, but if it comes up that we do need it, we'll have, before we could have a commission meeting, we would have to put that out for applications again and hopefully fill it up at that point. For the Cultural Arts Commission, there are 3 vacant seats, and due to the structure of the Cultural Arts Commission, 4 of the 7 members are required to be city residents. The 3 seats that are open happen to be seats that require city residents. So Newt Hybenet is a county resident and not eligible for one of these 3 vacancies, as we've learned. So Mickey Parsons, Mary Ella Riley, and Allison Ullum would be the 3 you could pick from for those 3 seats. So that looks pretty straightforward.
I hear a motion to appoint Mickey Parsons, Mary Ella Riley, and Allison Ullum to the...
So moved.
So moved. All in favor?
Aye.
Those? Any opposed? No? Then Mickey Parsons, Mary Ella Riley, and Allison Ullum will be appointed to this. Thank you. And Mr. Hybenet, by being a county resident, are there other, you said no on the charter, are there other openings that we have that he might be considered if he's interested?
Yeah, if he wanted to come into the city secretary's office and see what vacancies there are and fill out a subsequent application and apply for those, she would be able to help him figure out which ones he would qualify for.
Right. Okay.
Parks Board, we have actually 4 seats and 4 applicants, except you guys will have to decide of those 4 which one will be filling, which 3 will be filling full terms and which one will be filling an unexpired term that ends in January of 27. So you can, someone could make a motion to appoint 3 to the expiring terms and 1 person to the unexpired, and if no one has any issue with that, then you could make that motion and move forward.
Mr.
Mayor,
Wadley?
I make a motion to nominate Philip Benson for the unexpired term, and Jamie Cornwell, Kaylee Cuban, and Callie, and Kay Wazalewski for the full terms.
Second?
Okay. Second? Wazalewski? Yeah. And I hear a second.
Second.
Ullum.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Thank all of you. And now the Granbury Regional Airport Board.
3 vacancies, 6 applicants. If you guys want to make nominations, we'll see how many people are nominated. It could fill it. If there are more than 3 nominations, then we'll have to go to a vote, and the top 3 vote getters, you'll each get 3 votes because we have 3 seats to fill, and so the top 3 vote getters will take those spots.
Mr. Wadley.
I nominate Kyle Michaelis, Greg Moore, and John Roberts.
Okay. Other nominations? No? Okay. Kyle Michaelis, Andy Rash, and John Roberts have been nominated.
No.
All in favor say aye.
No,
No?
that wasn't. It was Kyle Michaelis, Greg Moore, and John Roberts. Correct, Bruce?
Correct. Okay. Kyle Michaelis, Greg Moore, and John Roberts are nominated.
No other nominations?
No other nominations? All in favor? Say aye. Okay. Any opposed? No? Thank you, Mr. Roberts, Mr. Moore, and Mr. Michaelis. Historic Preservation?
Yeah, that one's pretty straightforward. There are 4 expiring terms, one of which was vacant, but it's a full expiring term, and you have 4 applications. So you could appoint Mary Haddix, Claudia Southern, Kay Wazalewski, and Carol Walton to those seats.
Okay. Do I hear a motion to do that?
So moved.
Mr. Ella makes a motion. All in favor say aye.
Greg, second.
Any opposed? No? Okay. Ms. Haddix, Ms. Southern, Ms. Wozalewski, and Ms. Walton, thank you so much. You've been appointed to the Historic Preservation Commission. Planning and Zoning.
Yeah, planning and zoning, we have 4 terms expiring and 5 applicants. We'll take nominations. If all 5 are nominated, then we'll take it to a vote.
Okay. Question. Mr. Mobley can serve here, correct? And on the Charter Commission?
He can, yes.
No problem. Got it. Okay.
And right now, isn't Mobley an alternate for the P&Z, or is that the ZBA?
I think it's the
ZBA.
The ZBA.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there would be a conflict between P&Z and ZBA.
I see, and
He-
Mr.
he-
Mobley's
he-
here,
he
so
was-
I see that you checked P&Z as number 1. Now, okay. Okay, so we need, how many here?
4.
4? Do I hear a nomination? Or nominations?
Mayor, I'd like to make a nomination for Jamie Cornwell, Richard Hefts, Tony Mobley, and Randall Moore.
Do I hear more nominations? Are there more? We need 4?
We need 4.
Okay. All in favor say aye. Okay. So, Mr. Mobley, Mr. Hayes, Ms. Cornwell will be appointed to this board and Mr. Randall Moore. So those 4 will be appointed to the Planning and Zoning Commission. Thank you. Appreciate your service. So now, Mr. Mobley's name will have to come off of this ZBA?
That's correct. For the Zoning Board of Adjustment, we have several vacancies here and only 1 application, and that would be Ronnie Hurd. So I would suggest you go ahead and appoint Mr. Hurd, and Mr. Hurd goes and finds some people to come join him on the ZBA.
Will he be the only one?
We have another expiring term and then 2 alternate members as well.
Okay. Did I hear a nomination of Mr. Hurd?
So moved.
Mr. Corrigan makes the nomination. Any opposed to this? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, Mr. Hurd. Okay. So that is done. We value each and every one of these people that commit to spend the time and the energy to make the city even better. Thank you. 7.3, receive and discuss an update and progress report on the implementation of the 2024-2025 strategic plan. Mr. Kaufman.
Thank you, Mayor. Put together a little bit of a slide presentation. As you know, we're going to meet again in March to work on the 2026 strategic plan, but I wanted to give you a brief update of the success and the progress that we've had with the existing plan that's in place. So our guiding principles to provide efficient, effective delivery of all city services, to be the employer of choice by providing efficient, effective delivery of all city services, providing a positive employee culture and experience. How we're doing that is through a compensation strategy. As you all may recall, we've implemented a study. We have adopted that study. We've implemented pay adjustments across the board with our goal in mind to hit the 75th percentile of the average of like-minded cities, and also the adoption of the TMRS 8% retirement plan effective January 1st. And then employee recognition, we've put together a program called CHAMPS, and we give leadership awards with paid days off, desk plaques, and gift cards. I'll just tell you, we haven't done much of that this year, but the last year in 2024, we did more of that then. But we did enhance the gifts for the awards, for the tenure awards that we give at our annual banquet every year at Christmas. And then also enhanced onboarding. We put together a program where our communication team takes new employees and our HR team takes the new employees on comprehensive tours of our cities, of our city facilities, and then the city manager and the deputy city manager meet for lunch, and we get to know them a little better over that lunch period. And we've held multiple onboarding events with waves of new employees in those last 2 years. So I would consider that a success. Intern program and assistant city manager, we've fully implemented that. We've got five full-time implemented intern program with 5 full-time positions for the last budgeted years through the current with great success. We've had great talent in our communication team, our economic development team, and other areas as well. We've tapped into partnerships with Tarleton, GISD, and UT Arlington looking for these interns. And so we've implemented and budgeted that, and also in our new position, or our new budget, we've got the ACM fully funded again. So we did that when we moved Rick into that position. He's since retired, and starting March 1st, we have John Copeland going to be our ACM that's coming on board after retiring as a colonel in the military. Next up is the focus element number 2, infrastructure basics, upgrading, enhancing, expanding, and maintaining city infrastructure for future growth. And y'all are well aware of all these projects, but I needed to document them. We awarded a contract in 2023 for the South Water Treatment Plant or Water Reclamation Plant, however you want to word it, and that we expect that to be completed the 1st of March. The desalinization plant, it was in our capital improvement plan. We received a $57.8 million grant. It's a forgiving loan is what it is from the Water Development Board. That date has since been changed from January 21st to January 29th. So I'll be at that board meeting at the Water Development Board when they issue those bonds. And then the remaining balance will be needed to complete the project. We'll need to issue bonds at a future date. It is a $100 million project, and it will make a 5 million gallon a day plant similar to what we have now, but it will remove the PFAS and PFOS chemicals that are in our lake water and make it a healthier drinking water than what we've ever had before. We're very fortunate that we've got this technology and we were able to apply for this grant. And there's some people in this room that don't know it, but we were the only governmental entity in the entire state of Texas that applied for this grant. And because of that, we were able to get the full $57.8 million instead of having to share it among multiple applicants. So I'm extremely pleased to be able to celebrate this with y'all. I've never been so excited about a project in my life to get 57.8% of it paid for by loan forgiveness. And so we're excited about that project. The other one is the South Wastewater Treatment Plant, the other expansion. So remember the South Wastewater Treatment Plant, which is off of Water's Edge, was completely redesigned, implemented new technology, and that was complete in 2024-2025 timeline. The NOx 1 ground storage tank was rebuilt. We got a brand new tank, concrete, will last a long, long time. We expect many years of service out of that. The main lift station was complete down at the park across from the conference center. And the East Wastewater Plant is 98% complete, which should be open by March 1st. So these are very expensive projects. The South Wastewater Treatment Plant started before COVID, and through COVID, it ended up going from $14 million project to a $25 million project. The NOx 1 ground storage tank was about a $2 million project after COVID. We originally planned about $1.2 million. But the inflation after COVID has really taken a toll on our finances. The main lift station was mainly funded with a grant from COVID called the ARPA funds, and we utilized $2.2 million building that lift station, rebuilding it. And it's got additional capacity for future growth to meet our needs. And then the East Wastewater Treatment Plant, if you'll recall, we were planning on building that for $9.5 million in 2019, went through litigation delays, permitting delays, finally got everything worked out by 2023, and by the time that time hit, we ended up having to spend just under $35 million to build what was a $10 million plant. So things have really progressed on the upside of the cost through this last decade, and I hope that we can see some price stabilization moving forward as the grant money from COVID wears out. I hope that the demand for all these projects will cause the prices to slip somewhat, and we'll get back more to reasonable prices. But if you think about it, it was $10 to treat 1,000 gallons of sewer water in 2019. Now it's $35 for 1,000. So it's gone up 3.5 times the cost because of COVID and inflation. And I hate to say it, just that whole administrative process where they printed trillions of dollars and put it out nationwide for everybody trying to stimulate the economy caused huge inflation. So now I'm preaching politics. We'll move on to the next slide. Master Airport Plan progress. We've got a great facility going. As you know, in this last 2-year cycle, we've been able to complete the field-based operation facility construction. The Archer Court project has been completed. The signage has even been hung. By the time we got this PowerPoint put together, the signage had been completed. So Archer Court project is complete. The Perimeter Road is an EDA grant for $1.5 million. How about that? Another grant. I'd say we're hitting home runs on federal and state grants. Phase 1 and 2 are under design. We were able to get both phases completed with or awarded for construction within the budget that we were planning for just phase 1. So we're excited about that. This will be completed by the end of this year. The airport master plan is currently being updated by our engineering firm KSA, and we see probably in the next 90 days we should have a complete master plan for the airport, updated one. And then we'll file that with the government agencies and what have you. And as you know, we're still seeking additional grant applications and funds from various folks for our expansion of the apron area, maintenance of the old runway area that's now a taxi. And as we see other development come, we're able to deal with that through our master plan. The drainage plan, we did a master drainage plan for that project, the whole airport. And as it develops, there will need to be a drainage system design, a retention pond designed and created, either on-site or off-site, and there's recommendations. But that plan was completed in August of last year, so we've got something to talk to developers about when they show up. Also, the property survey, we're working on a plat of the expansion area approved, and that's real close to being completed through Brooks Baker survey. Mobility and transportation is dear to all of us, but we'll start with transit services. We're working with the transit system to provide support alongside the trolley. Further negotiations are in progress. People may not realize it, but in the past we have utilized the transit system to move visitors from one part of town to another during these huge events like the 4th of July or some other event where there's lots of folks here with no place to park. They've got a nice parking lot that they've reconstructed over at their facility on Highway 144 where people can park there, and then the transit bus will take them downtown to the festivities, and they run back and forth and take people to their car and from their car. And we've been able to do that. We also are wanting to work with them to allow the ridership that we enjoy on our trolley to go towards their transportation numbers so that they can use those dollars, those riders, to leverage more dollars for their organization. I think it's a good partnership if we can keep the transit system running in our community, and they're very vital. There's a lot of people that can't get to work any other way than to call the transit. They may live in Lipan and need it and work somewhere in Granbury, and they have to be picked up at a certain time, and that's their lifeline for transportation. Some people don't even have a ride to Walmart, and this transit system will come to their house, pick them up based on appointments, and take care of that. So with that's a whole other governmental body that is a nonprofit that's created and provides funding utilizing state funding. And so we want to partner with them to help them get as much leverage of what's being provided for transportation locally that we can, and let them get more funds to operate their system to provide better service in our community. Other major projects, we partnered with the county to do a Old Granbury Road improvement study, and that was completed. The county issued a bond election, and that was listed as one of the priorities in that, to work on that. We look forward to moving forward with them on Old Granbury Road and how that develops. But we're really excited about the possibility, because the county issued bonds for this part of that project, that we're going to be able to find what they call off-system funding from TxDOT to help develop Old Granbury Road as a relief route for 377. And so that should save literally millions and millions of dollars for the city and the county as we move forward looking to do that. The future master thoroughfare plan was approved in 2025, and I might just add that working with the county, they were able to adopt our master thoroughfare plan as part of their master thoroughfare plan, so it's all planned and organized together, and that's always exciting to be able to work with the county to make things happen that's good for everyone. The master parking plan and feasibility study for downtown parking garage is on hold. As you know, we're trying to figure out where to build a parking garage, and those steps step forward. So if this is an interest that you want to pursue, we'll bring it up at the next strategic workshop as well and carry it forward. The Highway 377 leadership, corridor leadership, I just want to mention that the mayor was selected as the chairman by TxDOT to lead the northern portion of TxDOT US Highway 377 corridor study with a coalition of every city and county in the North Texas segment of 377. And he did that. They put together a study and a plan, and that's been accepted by the state of Texas, TxDOT, and their organization. They did a study from Del Rio all the way to White House, and so the northern portion of the state, and then there was a central portion and a southern portion. So our mayor led the effort on that study for the 377 corridor. It's scary how much traffic is coming our way, regardless of whether the highway gets improved or not. And so we're working with TxDOT to continue to work with TxDOT. But that's milestones that have been accomplished. Coalition established and meeting regularly with TxDOT, Tex 21. I will say that the breakout project for 377, that's from Pirate Drive to Overstreet Way and the intersection of 377 and 144 has been funded. That breakout project is funded. And it included an additional $20 million to redirect drainage that is currently going to a residential neighborhood. So TxDOT water is being gathered currently and is rerouted to a residential neighborhood that we have. And I would like to thank the leadership of the MPO and Michael Morris, in particular the executive director of the MPO, for his hard work in getting that extra funding to redirect that drainage out of that neighborhood. So, and then the corridor study was completed in 2025. Monthly meetings with TxDOT, Innovation Transportation Solutions, and other partners are still ongoing. I just see success in everything that we've been accomplishing, and we're following the plan, and it's exciting to be able to share it with you today. Also, the facilities master plan, a fire station study was completed as part of the ISO evaluation. Remind y'all that we received a 2 rating out of a 1 to 10, 1 being the best, 10 being the worst, ISO rating that helps folks possibly with insurance premiums, and also it reflects the quality of service that our volunteer fire department and our city funding, providing water and equipment to them, and the facilities makes a difference. And so that helped us get to our 2 level. And then Hood County has funded Texas EMS to build a fire station, build 3 of them actually, but one of them's in our city at the Commerce Center. And the Commerce Center actually donated the land to the EMS, and we'll have this on a future agenda soon as Texas EMS is looking to get going on building that facility, and also being our fire department as well. They're building a 4-bay building, and they anticipate 1 ambulance and 3 fire trucks could go in it. And then the county funded the MS building with possible fire station plan. And that was all planned for 2025, but he's been so busy building his other two facilities and working through the details on this facility that he's getting ready to move forward. So I met with him last week, and he's got some needs that he needs the city to partner with to help pull this off. So we'll be talking to him in the near future. Focus element number 3, community development, assured plan quality growth in the city. Comprehensive plan update, we started in 2023. We got it completed and adopted in 2025. We held numerous public workshops. We worked with the planning and zoning, the city council, met with me. After they met with y'all, they took it back and spent another 6 months tweaking some of our concerns that y'all expressed. And in August of last year, we approved the final plan. So now then we're moving forward to put that implementation into our next strategic planning workshop and add that as another goal and objective. One-stop shop development, this started back in 2022, and it's finally completed. And I just want you to see the whole planning process. Someone can walk in the door with a dream, meet with staff, figure out what they got to do to meet their development dream, go through the process, go through the development process after they do the planning, go through the permitting, go through the inspection, all the way to the certificate of occupancy, dealing with people in this building. They don't have to travel to another building across town. They can. We've implemented an online custom-made program developed by OpenGov and our staff. We've got some very talented team members that worked with OpenGov to have a customized software package that walks people through our work process, and it adds accountability to the whole system, where if someone has submitted plans and they're waiting to be reviewed and they're wondering what the status is, the individual that submitted the plans or whoever else he wants to authorize to get on and look can review and see where those plans are at, where are they being held up at, where's the point of the choke point, contact that individual employee that's supposed to be reviewing them and say where are we at, and answer any questions they may have to facilitate a quicker success. Also, it works the other way as well, is we can find a problem and report that to them electronically, that here's our comments, we need you to answer these comments, and then we're sitting around waiting on them most of the time. And so this new system, new technology has been implemented, and it seems to be working very well. There are a few bugs, as with any customized software program, that we continue to resolve, and so we're excited about utilizing that. And if you'll remember, we reimagined the first floor of City Hall to accommodate this new mindset and encourage the customers, our developers, to be able to work together in a streamlined process. And that's a pretty good description of how this works. It's just seamless from one end of the building to the other. Zoning and development regulations were things that we were supposed to be addressing. We reviewed and revised residential subdivision and zoning regulation for lot sizes. Joint workshop with P&Z and city councils were completed. Round 1 ordinance adopted. Round 2 expected by the end of 24. They were all completed by July of 24 with Mr. Craig Farmer, our consultant. You'll recall that we took 60 days off the platting process by allowing administrative approval for many things, and also on the variances for a little wiggle room for if there's a problem. We've got some allowances percentage-wise that we can address administratively and not have to go through a 2-month process for a variance. Also focused on decreasing housing density and promoting larger homes, as well as streamlining and platforming in the platforming process. And you'll recall we have a couple of projects coming that are larger home lots, and then we also have smaller ones coming to provide diversity. So we're following the guidelines in our plan. Tourism development, making Granbury one of the top 20 destinations in Texas. As you see, we've done that and done it well. In 2023, we're made music-friendly city. 2023, celebration capital of Texas. Cultural District 2023, Best Small Town, Historic Town in America, 4 years. Best Destination for Foodies 2023, Marketing Excellence, Texas Association of Fair and Events overall 2024. These 8 new awards that are just presented to you, more to celebrate. So we're just celebrating everywhere you look with success. Some little facts to give you some brevity here of how things work. We hosted 102 groups last year in the conference center, totaling 26,362 guests for 186 days out of the year. Celebration Capital of Texas. We're building the brand for that and marketing and moving forward with that. The tourism-friendly Texas certification was awarded recently, and Visit Granbury marketing plan update with 3 workshops completed. So they as an organization did a marketing plan internally with their staff and with a consultant and put together what we're doing now. And so that's success. Citizen involvement, enhancing community awareness, encouraging input, and increasing involvement in decision making. So we as a multimedia communication strategy was developed, social media expansion utilizing Instagram, LinkedIn, shorter videos and infographics format implemented. Emergency communications, working with the county to use the Everbridge system as needed for emergencies. They've given us access to do that for city emergencies, not just county emergencies. Educational approach for preparedness. We do have our TV studio ready to record and interview and be able to be utilized as of April 2024. Engagement tools. OpenGov is a big one. Poll Everywhere we implemented and then pulled it back because it didn't seem to be getting what we needed as far as results. Saved some money by pulling that back, so we're still looking at more ways to engage the customers. Public safety education. We've got the Citizens Police Academy. You know what else we've done on engagement is we held a series of Meet with the City Manager, and those were well attended for a while, and then it dropped off to be the same old 2 or 3 people that showed up, and they said, what are we doing? We don't need to be doing this. So we backed off of that. Now I do anticipate as we move forward to have some more of those on particular topics as we move forward with all the discussion in our community about data centers. As we find out more from potential developers related to those items, I plan on having a meet with the manager, question and answer period, trying to help people, bring in some experts from the data center field of expertise. And tomorrow at 9 o'clock, I'm going to watch a congressional hearing that they're having at the SBA in D.C. with Congressman Williams as the chairman of that. We're going to see what they're going to be talking about data centers there. So as we learn more about data centers, we'll be able to share that with the community through these Meet with the Manager programs. Intergovernmental relations, cooperating with governmental agencies to promote community objectives. Our strategic partners were city staff meeting with county staff ongoing. We evaluated and did away with the 2008 interlocal agreement for platting in the ETJ. The state law changed that made it where if somebody didn't want to be in the ETJ, they could, and they own the land, they could file a document that met the statutes, and then after 45 days, they're no longer considered in our ETJ. So there was no sense in us trying to plat property in the ETJ when if they didn't want to do it, all they had to do was just fill out that form, and then it goes over to the county. So in order to be more efficient in the ETJ, we thought it'd just be best for the county to do it all. And so we worked with the county to accomplish that. The Economic Development Director hosted intergovernmental meetings. Quarterly meetings with the county, city, ISD were paused until we got a new superintendent. And now then we have our new superintendent, and she's working on some meetings in addition to that. The Community Compass was scheduled and held on September 10th of last year. Many of y'all participated in that. And then shared initiatives, exploring EMS for improvements and minimum level 0 events to minimize level 0. So there were times that we were experiencing in 2024, 2025, We were concerned about somebody dialing 911 and an ambulance not being available because they were busy elsewhere. I talked to the EMS director last week. They are now running 5 units in our county, where in 2024 they were running 3. So we've made large improvements there and working with them. We don't provide the ambulance service. They do. They're a nonprofit organization licensed through the state, and the county has been very gracious to fund them money to help them along, and we appreciate that. Joint partnerships with Granbury Regional Radio Network. We've been working with the county on that and other counties as well. We've got it rolled out and making some progress now, and then released intergovernmental plating agreement back to the county. So that's already been hashed over. We had fun at the legislative advocacy of the 89th session. I will just tell the people in this room that had this council, 4 of them, or 3 of them, not gone to Austin with me and sit down in front of the subcommittee, about 54% of our city would have got disannexed after this bill was passed or was considered. But we were able to change the wording in that bill. The author of the bill had no idea of the unintended consequences that his wording was creating on communities like us, where we have gated communities within the city, and so he was able to change that, and they came up with a bill that solved a problem in Austin that's been debated for over 10 years, back and forth through different Senate hearings. They finally got it resolved this session because 3 council members went with me and we testified and showed them a possible path to be able to move forward. So hats off to you guys for participating and taking the time to do that. We do weekly newsletters and emails and TV ads and TV spots and social media to educate the public on pending legislation. And then we partner with Texas Municipal League, Associated Rural Communities in Texas, Tex 21, which is our highway infrastructure and mobility organization that I serve as vice president, and then the North Texas Commission. That's the folks that envisioned and pulled off the development of the DFW airport. So we're part of that group. They're a big, huge economic driver of free enterprise in the Metroplex. They're made up of private businesses, local governments, and schools and colleges. So we're very involved. And then the final element, number 7, is economic development. And you know, we formed the department 2022, and we've been successful in continuing to budget that, and we've got a commitment to continue to budget, and we've got great staff hired, and we're making great success. Back in 2025, we updated the fee schedule for somebody wanting to apply for an incentive for a project. Also, the grant process has been successful. That airport grant that we're getting for $1.5 million is through the Economic Development Administration of the federal government, and so we want to put that under this title of economic development. Even though the economic development folks didn't put that grant together, we're running it through as economic development, and that's part of it. The website's been updated in 2024. They're using a CRM software, and economic impact software was acquired. And recently, we were awarded $361,000 towards electric vehicle charging station that we'll install here at City Hall. And it'll be a fast charging station, so somebody can, if it's operational, will be able to charge their car in about 30 minutes, a full charge. So we wanted to apply for that, and thanks to our staff for working hard to get that done. So the strategic analysis, we did a SWOT analysis at that workshop that we did, and we're expecting that policy to be updated in 2026. Community Compass is where we did that SWOT, and we had a good turnout. Government, intergovernmental relations were revealed there as well. We had all different people from different agencies there participating, and we appreciate their attendance. Site readiness, we're working on a project that's completed that facilitated the sale of 280 acres at the Commerce Center. What we're doing is doing site certification and putting it on a website that we pay for, and it markets to site selectors. and they can see our different areas of land that are in the city that we promote that can possibly be a good fit for their client. As I said earlier, the $1.5 million grant from the Economic Development Administration, and that project will be complete by the end of this year. Marketing implementation, we've been strong with that through not only economic development but tourism. And then business retention plan, call for survey, program implemented, focusing on targeted industries. We've actually been consulting companies that need help, that want to stay viable and need ideas and coaching. We've been able to provide that to them on a confidential level. So here's just a kind of a quick chart that I can't celebrate enough. The South Wastewater Treatment Plant, we began in 2019. It's completed. The desalinization plant that we just received the grant, $57.8 million. The East Wastewater Treatment Plant, 98% complete. Airport Perimeter Road, awarded the bid for construction, will be completed this year. The field-based operation construction completed 2024. Archer Court project completed. Airport drainage plan completed. New trolleys completed. Old Granbury Road design county bond election completed. Comprehensive plan approved. One-stop shop completed. Zoning regulations completed. Highway 377 study completed. Commerce Center sale completed. That's a great list of accomplishments that I want to thank everybody that works for the city and leads the city. We couldn't do it without each other, and it takes you as a council to oversee and direct this and appropriate the funds for this, help us, authorize us to apply for the grants for these things. It's all about working together to see it come together. So I can just say that there's probably two things that aren't complete in that 2024-2025 strategic plan, and I couldn't tell you what they are off the top of my head. So I'm just extremely pleased that everybody's pulled together, and it's a great work to be able to sit here together today and share the success and know that each department head has been working towards these goals and objectives, and of course all of us working together are making sure they happen. And with that looks forward here. The 8% TMRS that we adopted in 2025 began this month. The completion of major water infrastructure projects in 2026 are like the relocation plumbing that has to be done, the utilities that have to be relocated for the 377 breakout project. That's about $15 million worth of infrastructure work that's going to start very soon. We've had pre-construction meetings on 3 of the 4 projects and moving forward to get those done. So all of our 7 areas have been completed. We need fresh ideas. We need fresh direction. We need enhanced citizen services. We need enhanced public communication. We need people to come to our strategic plan and participate and give us their idea of what their vision is. We've done all this through our comprehensive plan. We had good turnout for that, and that comprehensive plan that we have adopted has things that we will bring forth in our meeting in March. So, next item. There you go. Y'all got any questions? Thanks. Good work, everybody. Staff, council, Chris, everybody. We never get to celebrate victories, but that's a pretty big victory to get a strategic plan and go through it with so much success in a 2-year period.
Push the button, they tell me. Okay. I have the honor of reporting back to the council the progress of the forensic audit that was requested of our HCAD group probably 6-8 months ago, that they have a forensic audit based upon some of the irregularities that we perceived were going on with the HCAD, and I think you can say that, yes, there were some irregularities because in September of 2023, they wrote every taxing entity a check which totaled $1,908,000, or $903,000. You'll see that in just a few minutes. You can go to the hoodcad.net, which is a Hood County site, and you'll find the forensic audit online there. The first thing that you'll find, though, is a summary of the forensic audit. I was at the meeting where the forensic audit was presented to the board by the auditors, to the HCAD board, and it was learned in that meeting that the summary was not published by Weaver, who are the auditors. It's a compilation and a summary put together by the chief appraiser, Mr. Law, and presented out to the public. I say all of that because I disagree with the summary. It's a little bit, well, it's sugar-coated. I don't have any question in my mind that it's sugar-coated. The audit firm, Weaver, was contacted earlier this week, and I've continued to contact them about, do you agree that the summary is representative of the audit? They have not responded, although I have now learned that one of the chief auditors there is no longer with Weaver, and that they are pretty much a national organization, because I kept getting calls from New York wanting to talk a little bit further, but not to answer that question, that simple question of do you or do you not agree that this represents the audit as provided by Weaver. So I haven't got an answer on that yet. The review, and I put this up here because it's important that we all understand that the fund management activities of the HCAD are subject to the regulations as outlined in the tax code, and that's tax code 6.0. I think it's equally important that we understand that the city is under those same regulations, and it starts with that the cities and the other taxing entities will fund the HCAD. The money that we pay for it. We pay for the HCAD we pay for part of it. Of course, the school pays the biggest part, the city, and the county, then the city, and then the smaller cities and smaller school districts around the county. But it all comes together at about $3 million a year, and it has for every year for the last 10 years. The other note that I wanted to make in here is that the HCAD, or the Weaver's auditors, wanted it clearly noted that they are not legal practitioners, and what they are putting out in their audit is not, it does not constitute legal advice. That's small. I apologize for that. But because the audit is focused on budget and expenses, and the taxing entities' approvals are required for those, there are a couple of definitions that Weaver felt were needed. And by the way, if you look down anywhere that there is a HCAD forensic audit, page X of X, basically what you see right in front of that is a quote from the audit. Two things on the audit here is the definitions. Budget amendment. According to the HCAD leadership, legal counsel, and auditors, a budget amendment entails an increase in the total budgeted amount to be spent in a given year. To achieve a budget amendment, it's presented to the entities, and there is a 3/4 approval of that budget amendment, and then the budget itself can be increased. A line item adjustment, on the other side of that, is it's a movement of expenses from one line item to another, as in I want to take $2,000 out of, well, as we did somewhat here today, but I want to take $2,000 out of office supplies because I've got an extra amount over here in legal. Well, if both of them were $4,000 accounts or budgeted accounts, then The office supplies would become 6, and the legal would become 2. The budget will not change with a line item adjustment. And this is important because no budget amendments were submitted from 2016 to 2023, but expense items totaling $4,222,953 were added to the HCAD budget by board-approved action with no taxing entity notification or approval. Now, those are my words, but that's exactly what happened through that period of time. The only time that we have seen a budget amendment was just this past year when Mr. Law introduced a budget amendment, and actually that was a line item transfer because it did not increase the budget in any form or fashion. Where did these budget amendments come? Predominantly, they came in the land and building account and the retirement account for prior service. Look at this. On the capital outlay in 2015, and this is not on the chart there, but in 2015, the auditors advised HCAD that excess funds were to be returned to the taxing entities. The auditors, Stone, Garrett, and Williams at that time, I mean, it's one of the statements that comes right at the top of their, at the audit that they did. And the HCAD actually returned about $150,000 to the entities. The next time we saw anything returned to the entities was 2023 when they returned the 1.9. And we'll get to that and make that somewhat all come together. In other actions that that the audit noted was that the HCAD did not receive approval from the entities before purchasing land for new facilities in 2019. They had to give the land back. I would compliment Mr. Kaufman. He's the guy that found that because he was trying to sell the same property that had been sold and knew that it could not be sold, so it was returned, but at a loss, we'll see it. And the HCAD has expended on capital outlay land and building for planning and design from 21 through 23, almost $400,000 for architectural fees, surveys, etc., that would be associated with it, but for planning and design. And we'll certainly talk about that in just a few minutes. And HCAD added $2,004,451 to the capital outlay land and building account through mid-year adjustments. Mid-year adjustments neither presented nor approved by any of the taxing entities. And they retained excess funds of approximately $1.4 million throughout the period of analysis and did not commit the balances to a particular use in the HCAD General Ledger. Please note that these have pages 5 of 38 and 5 of 38. These are not my words. These are the words that come directly from the audit. I encourage you to read the audit. It's about 35 pages long. There's 400 pages in the total, but there's a lot of filler that you might find there. The audit itself is about 30 pages. There were also excess funds moved around in the retirement plan. HCAD added $818,502 using an account designated as use of prior year fund balance. They did this additions through mid-year adjustments. Again, no tax entity involvement. And the auditors understand that that approach was recommended by their auditor, Snow, Garrett, and Williams. These amendments were approved by the board, but were not communicated to the taxing entities. Again, the audit words, not mine. The unimproved excess funds moved to the retirement plan. The retirement plan was account 6051, prior service credit. This expense account is used to record HCAD's contributions to the pension fund to reward HCAD employees for time spent at HCAD before HCAD became a participant in the TCDRS system. I would have to know more about that to understand how that happens. But again, no taxing entity involvement at all. So where are we? Well, the land and building is like $2 million in mid-year adjustments. Land and building excess funds is another $1.4 million, and then the retirement account over here is another $818. So there's $4,222,000, $222,953 that got were moved to the accounts, but had totally no involvement from the taxing entities. We didn't see a one of those as a taxing entity. We may have been at a board meeting and stumbled across one or two. So where are we now? Well, the unapproved funds, 422. We know that there's 818,502 laying out there in the retirement account. We know that because the retirement account has about $1 million in excess for the HCAD. And they returned $1,908,000 HCAD did when it was determined. So we have, well, we got $1.5 million. I wonder where this went. And here we go again at $392,000 or $397,000 planning and design for a building that had never been approved. And oh, by the way, it was never even offered up to the taxing entities to approve. We never got a chance. There was a lot of work done at the HCAD, developing plans, developing procedures, trying to figure out a way that they could move this building along. And in fact, that is a part of the Home Office, Hood County Appraisal District Home Office Corporation, which was set up to move the money that would be needed for a building. Bylaws, everything. That $392,000 is also associated with another $4,978, $5,000 that it cost us to buy land that was quickly returned or quickly sold after purchase, as it was determined that HCAD did not receive the approvals required by the tax code to purchase land. My point on this would be that they in 2019, they knew that they had to have approval to purchase land. In 2021, they're out there again trying to do it, but trying to do it through a home office corporation that is a standalone corporation, is not reporting into the not even obligated to the taxing entities, but the directors of the home office corporation are the same people that we appointed, we being the taxing entities, that we appointed to be the board of directors of HCAD and accountable to each and every tax-paying citizen in Hood County, of which I want to add that the city taxpayer proportionally gets hit the hardest when somebody doesn't respect the dollars that we have offered. We pay city, we pay county, we pay school. No one else pays city except us. Proportionally, we pay more than anyone else. So just doing some more math, where did this money go? And this is, you can go to the audited reports, and you can find all these numbers. The $392 for the architects, an additional $400,000 for capital outlay. My suspicion is that $400,000 is still there because they have about $600,000 in a fund balance at this point in time. So maybe there's some that we can get there. But the $53,000 for legal in 2019, that was the time frame that the HCAD was putting together the Home Office Corporation, and they had extra legal work doing it. They had people down in Austin even trying to lobby to change the entire tax code, or at least this section of the tax code, so that they could go out and buy property, lease land, and not have tax entity involvement at all. Do it on their own. Retirement, there's another $234,000 to the 800, and that's because it came earlier than the audit. It was It was set up to be paid earlier than the audit. It didn't encompass the same time frame. But you see it out there. Building maintenance, engineering fees, and the loss on the building we talked. And then another 137, I can't, it's small. It's small stuff, 7,000 here, 5,000 here, but it's all an increase to the budget with no taxing entity review. The unknown, I just couldn't make it, I couldn't find it. There's another 87 out there. So, when you talk about that, it's like, okay, what were you doing? And here's the process that's used in the HCAD. And this is coming from an email dated 11/13/2025. It's from the HCAD representatives to the forensic auditors. It's not in the audit itself. Actually, it is in the audit itself, too. But this is the process that's used at HCAD. Funds are not assigned to an account in the current year's budget at the advice of the auditor. Here's the auditor again. Funds are not assigned so that the books would balance to the current year's budget. Obviously, this is the answer to a question that one of the auditors was asking. In fact, you can see the initials there, VP and BB, which when you read the audit, you'll know who that is immediately. Okay? The funds were reflected in the general balance that was shown on a report from Business Works and presented at the board meetings each month. At the board meetings. Statutory, not the, those are meetings. They are not the taxing entities. The money was not kept off the GL. It was accounted for. Just not in any specific account until the audit was completed each year, where it was then calculated as unassigned funds to be assigned. I don't know what to think of that. Well, I do, but I can't say that. What use is that? What use is it? If you just keep it in total, then you just put it where you find that you may or may not need it. This advice was given to the board and the chief appraiser by the auditor. And to resolve all of this, at the end of the year, journal entries at the end of the year audit were given out to balance the accounts for the auditor to audit the next year. This auditor's been auditing this account for over 20 years. My position on that, you have an auditor over 5 years, you have family reunions, you don't have audits. Conclusion, City of Granbury continues to be committed to transparency, accountability, and the proper stewardship of public funds, and that's what these are, public funds. All elected and appointed officials have a fiduciary responsibility for the proper disbursement of public funds. Our concern is straightforward. Public funds held in trust for taxing entities appear to have been repeatedly retained and used in ways not authorized by statute, despite clear notice of legal requirements. And when these issues were raised, corrective action occurred only after the exposure of the issue. Our next steps, we will convene into executive session as by Texas Government Code. We can discuss at that point in time. So that's my HCAD audit. I have another question that was being raised about a write-off that I can cover. But before the audit, are there any questions for me? Okay. Yes, Mr. Wadley.
I've asked this question of HCAD and other folks several times. Is there any, with the retirement fund, it's the type of fund that you have to contribute to, like it's a matching fund. Do we know if the people that receive those funds paid their share of the match?
I can't get an answer to that either, Mr. Wadley.
Okay, thank
you. Okay. Other? Yes, Mr. Oliver.
Well, there certainly is a lot of meat on that bone, but
appears to be.
In regards to the planning and design spending, is there any documentation that you've been able to uncover that shows that work actually occurred, be it through receipts or documentation, surveys, and things like that?
I certainly appreciate you taking me to my next slide, because that's exactly what the 2016 write-off is all about. Okay. And in the 2016, or the $290-something thousand that was doing this, you know, I asked the question of HCAD, and by the way, like was said earlier, Mr. Law working with us, Chief Appraiser, the group there is certainly working with us. Board is working with us. I don't have a complaint there, but I have information, facts, and they are facts from prior years where taxing entities were not allowed to help with the disbursement of taxpayer dollars. Anyway, in the governmental fund, the $296 some odd $1,000, or $392 is actually what it comes to. That money was not written off. It was in a government account as an asset when they realized that there was not going to be any work done on a building. Then it was removed, and the word is it was lost on disposal, which is I mean it's a phrase for what happens when you get rid of a capital asset that still has value on it, but you can no longer use it. Maybe some of the I doubt the trucks that were talked about earlier have anything left on them through just depreciation, but it's lost on disposal. The conversation on that is that the $216,952 was spent. It was not hidden or erased. It was listed in the government account. It had to be taken out of that account, and to do that, to get it into the asset account on the government side, it had to be lost because there was no dollars there. It was lost on disposal. The spending related to planning and preliminary work for the new HCAD, this building was never constructed. Because the project was abandoned, accounting rules required the cost to be removed from the assets section of the financial statements. The accounting adjustment appears as a ban of disposal. You know, I was looking for a simple way to explain that, and I found one. The money was spent on a building project that never happened, and taxpayers got nothing for it. So, no. We got nothing for it. The money was spent on a building project that never happened, and taxpayers got nothing for it. I might add, the building project was never presented to any of the taxing entities for approval or non-approval, even though in 2019 they'd already had to give property back that they'd purchased because they did not get the proper approval.
So if the building was not completed, does that mean that any work went into it at all? Because there's a lot of paperwork, there's a lot of survey that goes on before ground is ever broken.
Yeah, there's surveys. They paid for the surveys. I've seen the surveys. They paid for the appraisals. I've seen for that. They paid for the architect's drawings, which $330,000 for what was achieved. And if you go back to the just the contract itself, it won't hold water. And it kept getting approved, and payments kept getting made. It will not hold. The contract is never amended, but went from a contract of $150,000, something like that, to over $330,000 billed and paid. Other questions? Well, I appreciate you, ladies and gentlemen, letting me update you on our HCAD forensic audit.
Mayor, I'd like to thank you for your hard work on this and your tenacity for following through, and I appreciate the council authorizing you to be their representative at those board meetings and taking care of this business. Don't know what we'll do from here, but we appreciate it. You've done a great job.
Thank you. We'll now move into executive session. Keep me straight here. Now declare Granbury City Council is convened in open session that all members are present. The City Council will go into closed session pursuant to provisions of Texas Government Code in accordance with the authority contained in the following: consultation with attorney pending or contemplated, deliberation regarding real property, and deliberation regarding economic development negotiations, and personnel matters. Okay? Got that. All right. We are now in executive session. Thank you all for being here. We'll be back later. I now declare that the Granbury City Council reconvenes into open session. There was no action taken in closed session. All council members are present. Is there any further business?
Mayor,
Mr. Wadley.
I'd like to make a motion to authorize the city manager to execute a commercial airport lease with Ron Stoll for the property known as Hangar B1 and the former FBO office space.
Second.
I hear a motion. Second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say nay. I hear no nays. That will pass 6-0. Anything else, council?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Wadley?
I'd like to make a motion to authorize the city manager to present the findings of the Hood County appraisal.
The mayor.
Yes, I'm sorry. I make a motion to authorize the mayor to present the findings of the Hood County appraisal forensic audit to the district attorney, Ryan Sinclair.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Ms. Parker, make the second.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Any discussion? Okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay.
One
I hear
more.
no nays. That will pass 6-0. You said there's one more?
One more, sir.
Mr. Wadley, go ahead.
I'd like to make a motion to authorize the city manager to execute an agreement with Sorrell Law Firm for prosecution services under the terms discussed in executive session.
Mr. Corrigan seconds. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. That will pass 6-0. Mr. Wadley, anything else?
That would be all.
Mr. Parker? Mr. Corrigan? Mr. Ullum? Mr. Overdeer? Well, there being no further business, I announce this meeting is adjourned.